The villagers called him Kima, a name that meant the one who survives. He never chose the jungle chose him. When Kima was barely 6, life pushed him into the heart of the thick green wilderness. No mother, no father, no family. Only a tiny bag with 2 roasted plantains, a dull pocket knife, and a cloth that smelled of home. On his first night alone, he cried until his tears blended with the dew on the leaves. The forest answered him with shadows, rustling leaves, and the distant roar of creatures he had never seen. But even in fear, the jungle whispered a truth he never forgot. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to keep moving while afraid. And so, Kima moved. The first morning sunlight pierced through the treetops like golden arrows. Kima looked around as the jungle awakened. The hoo-hoo-hoo calls of monkeys jumping from branch to branch. The whistling cry of parrots echoing across the canopy. The sound of a poor stream trickling nearby. The warm smell of wet earth. And the gentle trembling of leaves under the feet of unseen animals. He stretched his tiny arms, wiped his tears, and whispered to himself, "Maybe the jungle is not trying to scare me. Maybe it is trying to teach me." Kima followed the sound of flowing water until he reached a narrow stream. Its water was clear and cold. He cupped his hands and drank deeply, letting the coolness calm his chest. Every morning became the same ritual. He would kneel by the stream, talk to his reflection, and promise himself to live one more day. Water washes the body, but hope washes the heart. With nothing but a small stick and strong determination, Kima learned to catch fish. He would sharpen the stick against a stone, wait patiently beside the stream, and strike with surprising precision for a little boy. Sometimes he caught nothing. Sometimes he caught too little. But he always tried again, and the jungle rewarded persistence. The nights were cold. The insects were merciless. The wind howled like an angry spirit. So Kima gathered fallen branches, wide leaves, and vines to build his first shelter. It was small, crooked, and almost collapsed when he leaned against it. But he laughed. "It's not much," he whispered, "but at least it's mine." Over time, he improved it, adding stronger poles, creating a bed of leaves, even designing a tiny storage space for fruits and firewood. Each improvement grew his confidence. Each improvement transformed him. When you build with your hands, you build strength. But when you build with your heart, you build destiny. Fire became his most loyal companion. He learned to spark it by rubbing dry sticks, feeding it with bark, and protecting it from the wind. Fire meant safety. Fire meant warmth. Fire meant hope. He would sit by it every night, staring into the flames, telling stories only the trees could hear. Sometimes he felt the fire listened. Sometimes he felt it spoke back. Kima lived with the jungle, not against it. He learned to recognize the calls of monkeys who stole his fruit, parrots that repeated his laughter, bush babies with glowing eyes that watched him at night, deer that grazed near his shelter without fear, wild dogs who circled but never harmed him. One day, he healed a wounded monkey with herbs he learned from observation. From that day, the monkey whom he named Boko followed him everywhere. They became inseparable. Boko taught him where the sweetest fruits grew, how to escape snakes, and how to climb trees faster than fear. Kima taught Boko kindness. The jungle taught them both life. When the rainy season arrived, survival became harder. The river swelled, the wind broke branches, the cold pierced his bones. Animals became more aggressive. One night, lightning split a tree beside his shelter. The thunder shook the earth. Kima curled under his blanket of leaves, shivering as water poured into his fragile hut. He wanted to cry. He wanted to run, but there was nowhere to run to. He whispered to himself over the roaring storm, "If the jungle does not give up on me, I will not give up on myself." By morning, the sun returned. Kima stood, soaked but unbroken, stronger than the night before. Years passed. The boy who once feared the dark now walked confidently through the night. He knew every path, every stream, every fruit, every danger, every sound. He could. predict weather from the smell of the air, set clever traps for small animals, climb trees effortlessly, swim without fear, read the forest like a book. And the jungle, the same jungle that once terrified him, now protected him like a mother protects her child. Strength does not come from what you escape, it comes from what you embrace. One afternoon, while gathering herbs, Kima heard a sound he had never heard before, a faint cry. Human, weak, afraid. He followed the sound and discovered a girl, no older than 8, trapped under fallen branches. She was lost, starving, and exhausted. Kima, please help me, she whispered, though she did not know his name. Without hesitation, Kima lifted the branches, carried her to his hut, and nursed her with fruits and warm water. Who are you? He asked. I'm Alika. I lost my parents. I don't know where I am. Kima stared at her for a moment, then smiled gently. You are safe. The forest takes care of good people. From that day, Kima became more than a survivor. He became a protector. He taught Alika everything the jungle had taught him. How to fish, how to gather fruits, how to build a shelter, how to respect animals, how to listen to the forest. They shared laughter, stories, adventures, and dreams under the stars. Little by little, the jungle started to feel less like a place of survival and more like a home full of purpose. One morning, Kima noticed smoke rising beyond the far ridge. Curious, he climbed with Alika and discovered a group of researchers camping near the river. They were mapping the forest, searching for lost communities, hoping to find survivors of old disasters. When they saw Kima and Alika, they froze astonished, speechless. Where are your parents? Kima simply smiled and pointed at the forest. This is my parent. The researchers insisted on taking them to the city for medical examinations, education, and a new life. Alika agreed immediately, but Kima hesitated. The forest had raised him, the forest had loved him, the forest had shaped him, but he remembered a wise truth. A bird does not stay in the nest forever, even if the nest is comfortable. And so, with gratitude in his heart, he agreed to leave. Gently, thank you, he whispered. The forest wind blew softly as if answering, You are ready. In the city, Kima became a sensation, the boy who survived the deep wild. Scientists studied his skills, teachers were fascinated by his intelligence, psychologists were amazed by his emotional strength. But Kima remained humble. He excelled in school. He became a protector of the environment. Rescue lost children. The boy the jungle raised became a man who inspired the world. At his first public speech, Kima stood on the stage, looked at the crowd and said, Learned that the jungle is like life. It is full of danger, struggle, hunger, storms, and fear. But if you learn to listen, to observe, to work hard, to stay humble, then the same jungle that tries to break you becomes the jungle that builds you. And he ended with the words the forest had carved into his soul. Hardship is not the enemy of success. It is the soil where success grows.